morning, everybody. So you think I'm successful? Do you think I'm successful? Why do you think I'm successful?
Because you're there, we know here.
Can somebody tell me what made you think that I'm successful? I'm smiling. Well, most people think that I'm successful maybe because I have a PhD, I'm a college professor, I have a house, I have all kinds of things. And if that's what you think, because most people measure success with something that is measurable, like, like a house and all of that, you're not the only ones. And through all these years, since I started the project, Empowering Youth and Educators, that consists of conferences and became eventually college courses, the first thing we start with is, what is success? And I can tell you, we asked thousands of people to answer that, to give us an answer. Most of them, depending on their age, success is getting a degree, having a good job, buying a house, finding a partner. All of these things are certainly very important in life, and they really make our life easy. But that's not how I see success. So let's see, what is success based on the dictionary? Oops. Well, I passed, but it's okay. Success is really based on the dictionary. It's accomplishing a goal or a purpose. The problem is, what goal? How do I know the right goal? What purpose? And if you look at the synonyms of success, you can see achievement, realization, triumph, victory, arrival. All of these, they indicate that success is a process. So it's a process, it's not just a goal. But most people think that success is basically a goal. And if we only keep on focusing on the goal, it's like a moving target. And that moving target, it almost becomes, the way I see it, people are like dogs chasing rabbits. You keep on chasing the rabbit and not focusing on the process. So for me, success is really a journey. A journey has a starting point and many destinations, actually, not only one destination, but many destinations, and of course, a path. And I see through my career that a lot of young people, they want the path to be short, and they just want to get there. Just get me there, give me the A, let me have what I need to have, show me how to do it, and I'll get there. And again, we kind of lose track of that beautiful path. But let me give you an example. When I was young, I never ever thought about the destination. For some reason, maybe I'm weird, but I remember when I was 5 years old, here I am in kindergarten, and I go to this school, private school, with a lot of rich kids. That school is really the most rich and famous people who put their kids in there. And here comes this little girl, and of course I wasn't anywhere near these kids, but I saw the first time of my life this little girl walking in the class with this thing in her feet. And I go and ask her, what's that? She said, these are boots. And I say, what are they made of? She said, it's fur. Then I said, where did you get them from? She said, well, my dad bought them from Canada. And then I said, what was he doing in Canada? She's like, well, he's a journalist accompanying the president. Now think about it. Here I am, 5 or 6 years old kid. I heard all these things. And then actually the last thing, which is also interesting, is I asked her, what's your name? And she said, my name is Camellia. Camellia is not a Tunisian name. And I said, what is that? She's like, it's a flower. So in one day, in a few minutes, I got exposed to boots, which you might think it's not a big deal, but to me at that time, I've never seen boots in my life. I never heard of a country called Canada. I never heard of a job that's a journalist. And I never heard of somebody could accompany a president on a trip. And all of that what it did to me, it really ignited my mind, just like the whole TEDx here. It really set up that curiosity in my brain. I didn't think of like, I want to go to Canada. I didn't think I want to be a journalist. All I did think of is like, wow, the world is such a big place. There's so many things out there. And here I am, not knowing any of that. But I was pretty lucky to have parents like mine who were also very, very curious. Now let me tell you, they're both illiterate, and I'm one of 12. And my dad was a cab driver. But here's what happened. Every day he comes from work, he never complains about work. He loves it. Because he comes and tells us, guess what I met today? There's this guy coming from Italy, this guy coming from that country, this guy doing this thing. And he would tell my mom, you know, I dropped today this woman with her daughter for ballet classes. And then the next day he would say, I took this kid fencing. I took this person horseback riding. And my mom, being curious as she was, she would figure out ways to enroll us in these things. Even though we were very low middle class, for some reason, somehow she made it happen. I did fencing, I did horseback riding, and, you know, ballet, but she never thought that she wanted us to be the best ballerina, or I want you to be the champion. And I realized that really what was beautiful about life is trying things more than getting to that goal. And you know, that's the ignited mind. And I want you to see this picture. Most people are like that bike rider, that kid on the bike trying to get to that destination. But in reality, my life was never like that. There was a destination, but I wasn't even looking at it. All I was looking for is to get going, and I had really many, many opportunities to try different things. And I want you to know that it wasn't always easy. It was sometimes very painful, very difficult, too many challenges. And you know, in a path like the bottom one, you have to learn how to swim, how to climb rocks, you have to go through lots of hurdles. Most people don't like that. But I tell you, these are the things that are necessary in life to make you a successful person. And there are many times I hated it when I was in the middle of it. I wanted to go back, I wanted to stop, I wanted something easier. I was hoping that I would have somebody that could lift me up and drop me somewhere else. And there are many times I had to start all over again, including in my degree. For example, on my PhD, I worked 4 years. I was this close to finish my thesis, and I started all over again for health issues. So think about it, like it's not always easy, but now looking back, I could say that that was the best thing that happened to me, that I had to try and repeat and do through all these hurdles, because guess what you gain through this? This is really the beauty about life. First of all, we're not all going to start from the same starting point, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where you start. Because if I think of that camellia, guess what? 5 years ago, I was talking about this example. Somebody in the audience knew Camellia, and they told me about her, how she was doing. She had it easy, she had that smooth ride. But when she looked at me, she never believed where I am. Because at that time, I was that little poor kid in the classroom, and it didn't matter. So the key thing is, really, if you want to get going, success is about trying things, repeating. And you learn a lot of things. First of all, that self-confidence. And then the second thing is that self-esteem. And then, you know, you overcome many hurdles. And I'll tell you, the hardest part is fear. When we have challenges, a lot of us, they have fear because it's fear of the unknown. A challenge is something new. We don't know how to handle it. So imagine if you have many hurdles and you overcome them. You are overcoming fear. And I tell you, it's not always easy, because even me, even after all these years, after all that bumpy ride, there were moments when I had lots of fear. For example, when we moved to America, that fear I brought in my daughter with me, and she's here today. And what I'm going to tell you, that fear made me want to control her life because I didn't know what's out there. So that not knowing make you want to control. And that's not a good thing, because in controlling, you end up not allowing people to go through all these bumps and roads. So what is then success is really trying, going through all these different steps, and in the end, it's all about growth. Now, what do I mean by growth? You have to grow in your 4 dimensions. Most of us don't even know that we even are 4 dimensions, and today neuroscience shows that human beings have 4 dimensions. We're first of all physical being, then an emotional being, then an intellectual being, and finally a spiritual being. And they really need to build up like this pyramid. First, we're born as physical, we run and touch and think, and then we grow our emotions, then the intellect, and finally the spirituality. And I tell you, somehow I was lucky that my parents, the first thing they did, especially my mother, is to send us to all these sports activities, which really took care of our physical being. And imagine when you're healthy and strong, your emotions also in that path that I took, like trying different sports, going to different places, you meet people, you learn about people, then you learn, that builds your emotions. You learn how to handle all these interactions with people who teach you how to handle your emotions, love, acceptance, understanding, all of that. And then once your emotions are in check, then your brain opens up. And today, neuroscience shows that people who are happy learn better. People who don't have frustrations and negative feelings are much better. They learn faster and better, more efficiently. And finally, if you get all of this, then you reach that spirituality. And what is really that spirituality? It's that sense of connectedness and oneness with everybody and the universe. You can't feel that sense of oneness and spirituality if you lack that understanding and love. And where does that understanding comes from? From learning through all these hurdles. So hurdles teach you to understand, to grow, and the more you understand the world, the more successful you're going to be. And believe me, I had bad grades. I failed in many ways. But in the end, you know, all these failures are a good thing for me because that's what allowed me to learn new things. And again, from understanding, you start to accept others, to love, and love and understanding builds character. The character of respect, trustworthiness, and everything. So all I can tell you guys is go out there, live life, be hungry for it. That's success. It's not reaching a specific goal. That's too small of a goal, and it's not fun. Go, experience things, discover things, and try, even when it's painful, even if you have to repeat everything all over again. And thank you.